to act is now. We fight for home, for Wakanda.
Alright, so let's talk about the first TV show in the sixth phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's talk for a bit about Eyes of Wakanda.
And well, big surprise, not an alternate reality nonsense. It's part of the quote-unquote secret timeline.
Yes.
Because they officially painted it in the framework of the continuity now. It's in the continuity. On Disney Plus now. Like, all right, word. I could live with that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the miniseries, the 4-part miniseries, Eyes of Wakanda, right? So of course, this is a spin-off of the Black Panther feature films and whatnot, right? But this one actually goes to the early beginnings of the War Dogs, right? If you remember those characters, that would be like Daniel Kaluuya's character from the first film, those guys who are just sent. No, actually, I think either him or T'Challa's father or brother, or take it was.
No, not T'Challa's father. Killmonger's father.
Oh, Killmonger's father. Yes. I forgot. Sorry about that. I forgot. Right. Yeah. Those are the Wakandan soldiers who are, or I should say, agents, right? Who are sent out into various countries to, just make sure, the secret of Wakanda is kept safe from, outsiders and whatnot, right? They will do what they had to do, they will get their hands dirty, but, it's all about, the protection of Wakanda, right? So basically what this show does very well, right? Well, all right, so I'll just give you a synopsis quickly, right? Yeah, so basically, this is a miniseries, right? And as far as just it being a miniseries, I think that's a very smart call on Marvel Studios' part, because to try to crank out, let me just say, 6 episodes or 10 or 8 episodes, and then call that a full season and say, hey, we're going to do our next season of this, I think will be very, very difficult, right? Because each episode just introduces us to a new war dog, right? Or a new agent, right? And for one thing, right? I love how it taps into how technologically advanced Wakanda is, right? Because one thing that really surprised me, right, is how, like, just this war dog stuff, like, just the whole Wakanda, just the way how Wakanda moves in terms of, like, sending out its agents, right? It's very much like the FBI dread. So, sorry, not the FBI. It feels like early CIA stuff dread. Like, just the way how they move, the tech and whatnot. It's like, oh, we had the idea of the CIA long before the United States did, right? So, yeah. The way how the characters move, the way how they talk to each other, the tech that they have, it's CIA stuff, right? It's really like that. Yeah.
I mean, somebody technological advancements feels a bit of a stretch to me, but like, whatever, it's fine.
I know, yes, it is a show that, admittedly, right, because we're spanning certain time periods, right? So I think it starts off in I think it's like in not BC, but like early AD, right? And then it'll just go like from 1400 to, I think the last episode is in the 19th century, I believe it is. Yeah.
I think they have some BC in it, in the first story. That first story.
Is it BC though? I should look it up. Okay, I swear everything was all 80. I swear it was all 80.
No, the first story is Greece. Is like, oh shit, it's like
right. Yes. You're right. Yeah. So yes, it's spanning various time periods, right? But yeah, just the way how they move is very CIA like, right? Even right down to having one of their superiors be called director. Like, when the moment I heard director, it's like, wait, nah. Some CIA shit I see it here, boy, but that's kind of cool. But at the same time, you have to. It is about suspending your disbelief a little bit, right? Because they having certain tech and whatnot, and it's during it, like in one episode, it's during the fall of Troy and all that kind of stuff, right? And yet they have certain tech and whatnot, right? So yes, you have to suspend your disbelief just a little bit, right? But
Well, they played like a kind of the whole, ancient lost technology stuff. Like, how much people think like the Antikythera mechanism is secretly at this and secretly at that, and they play with the idea of, well, technology would have been much more advanced if we did this, that, or the other, and the steam engine actually came out in this time and blah blah blah, but it lost. So like there's a somewhat of a plausibility to it, but I know whatever it's the MCU, so it's the same universe where the Greek and Norse gods are real, so it's like
Yeah,
whatever, it's fine.
yeah.
Stuff like that. So, but I didn't mind it too much, but like at times it's like, oh, that's kind of a stretch, right?
Yeah. But there is a sort of a running arc going on, right? Which is established in the first episode, right? Where this particular war dog, right? This Wakandan war dog pretty much exiles himself from Wakanda, right? He actually learns a lot about the world, right? Which is a theme that was brought up, believe it or not, in the first Black Panther movie, where they learn, oh, the world works like this, but why Wakanda does move like this? And they pretty much defect from Wakanda because, hey, the world needs me and the world needs our resources. Why are we hiding away from the rest of the world, right? So yeah, he ends up grabbing a bunch of Wakandan items, and then throughout the centuries, they go off into various continents, and they actually kind of establish in a very subtle way why they end up making it to various countries in the world, right?
Right.
And in
the guy's name is Chris Williams.
Who plays the original guy who defected, right? I think so. I should look it up, right? But yeah, that is established in the first episode. There's one Dora Milaje, an ex Dora Milaje, who's sent to catch him, and the other episode from there now is just about these items showing up in different countries, in different eras, and just a particular war dog who has to go and collect those items, but then that person learns about the world, or they learn about what they're involved in, right? Because of course, they have to work themselves in a particular conflict or whatever war, right? So in case in point with the episode involving Troy, yes, this war dog actually teams up with oh gosh, what's the guy's name? With Achilles of all people, right? So it's like that, right? And you see how that story plays out, right? But yeah, just to jump into the review here one time, right? So I'll just give my thoughts on it, right? I think that this is a solid miniseries, though. It's not one of the best, TV shows or animated or live action that I've seen that I've seen from Marvel Studios. But in terms of the conceit, though, I think it's kind of brilliant. It's really kind of brilliant, right? Yeah. For me, the episode that really stood out to me, though, the two that really stood out to me is the second and the fourth one, right? The fourth one, I would say, is my favorite, right? Because it's sort of...
Right. No, for me, it was 3 and 4.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about 3.
They fully they basically canonized something that we didn't think would have been canonized, but it is canonized now. A certain character comes in and is like, all right, this character is definitely in here now, even though we expect them to be canonized because other characters who are associated with this other character will canonize as well.
I understand. We keep things spoiler free, but yes, a character is now officially part of the MC, right? Because of who that character will eventually influence. That's all you'll see, right? It caught me by surprise in terms of who that person was, right? And I admire how the show just sort of try to hide it at times, but like the moment that they see a certain thing, I was like, oh, that's who the character is. And then when the character puts on, the outfit, it's like, oh, okay, that real dread. I like that.
I had this spoiled for me. So unfortunately, I should have watched it I should have fully watched it out that night. One time now, while it come out in the morning, I should have watched it and then go on TikTok because TikTok spoiled it almost immediately.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh shit, I should do that. But the before episode 4 was not spoiled. I just kind of pieced together what was going on. I'm like, oh shit, that was real good, and I really really like that episode 4. That was great.
Yeah, what we'll say, because we want to keep things as spoiler free as possible, right? It actually does a really solid Days of Future Past kind of premise, right? Where, a particular item is reclaimed, right, by a war dog, right? But then a Black Panther from the future, way into the future now, comes and says, no, you need to put that back, because if you don't, a certain character wouldn't see it, and then the events of the live action movies wouldn't play out. And when I heard that, I was like, what? Like, that's what we doing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's real good.
But the thing is, what I'd say, the only nitpick with that is that this is not how time travel works in the MCU, or at least their version of time travel. Like, they're doing the Star Trek thing where time travel just work different all the time. So, like, the version of time travel in Avengers Endgame works this way, and then this time travelers work this way, and blah, blah, blah. And I thought that was a little unclear, but then, again, sci-fi bullshit, I don't care, it's fine.
Yeah, you know the argument they're gonna make is, well, when the Avengers did time travel, it was this way, so we're gonna do it
Right.
different way, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just I
pretty much.
just thought that premise was brilliant, right?
It was great.
Very Days of Future Past inspired, right?
Yeah,
And
because
mm,
when I saw it in the first episode, I was like, hey, that's looking like this kind of thing. I wonder if they're gonna pay that off. And then I didn't see it again. And then they show it again in the fourth episode, like, yeah, that was looking like the same thing though. I wonder if they're gonna pay that off. And yeah, they ought to pay it off is great.
well,
Yeah,
listen.
that's all I
Listen,
certainly think.
I am just amazed that you picked up on that item from episode
Yeah,
one.
I know
'Cause
it
I
was,
wasn't even thinking
yeah,
about it. I didn't even notice it, to
yeah.
be honest.
Right. I just say, it is looking like that thing. It looking like a thing. Usually these little details just come up. And then Ryan Coogler is the kind of person, I don't know he was directly involved with the material, but like he's the kind of person that'll stickler for this stuff anyway. Yeah, so I kinda get accustomed to him in that sense. I want to see what they're going to do. It's like, all right, good. And they paid off. My only issue with this is like we could get a couple more episodes. Like I wish we got at least 2 more. Like that was my only thing. 4 episodes are a little too short. I felt we could get a couple more.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And tell a couple more stories. But like as it is the conceit is great. Like they're just jumping in time, especially when they jump from 1 to 2. And you find out how 1 is linked to 2 at the end. Like, okay, that's good. This is solid stuff. Good storytelling. They make it make sense. And it's something that people was talking about for a hot minute. Like, hey, this is one thing you could expand upon in the with respect to Black Panther. And they did. So it's the one thing that is left open. I'm glad they did it. It's like, all right, we're cooking with something. This is pretty good stuff.
Yeah. So just a few things. I actually like the progression of the stories, right? 'Cause even though they're in individual times and they center on individual characters, you see the progression of the war dogs. You see like just like a character you'll see in the first episode, will get older or will be running the war dog or whatever it is, like this more or less either influencing them or like running things behind the scenes, and you see how that plays out there, right? I thought that the voice acting was really impressive across the board. I like that it was mostly like I didn't recognize, like when I was looking at the credits, right? With the exception of one person, that would be Lynn Whitfield and Cress Williams, as I said before. Everybody else is pretty much like people I've never seen or heard of before, And like I thought like their African accents, because I'm assuming that not everybody who play the Wakandan characters, are
Right.
African. I'm assuming so, right?
I mean,
But yeah,
the movie had that problem to it. To be fair, like then they kind of go back and forth about who have a proper African accent or whatever it is, because most of them not from Africa. I mean,
yeah.
sure, use Guyanese, for example, and so on
And
and so
Daniel
forth. Right?
Kaluuya is British, right? And well for
Exactly.
me, I never bothered or wasted time trying to say, oh, this person is that person's African accent sounds very forced or sounds very cliche, whatever it is. Like I don't know, like if you were to put me on spot and tell me to talk in that sort of accent or whatever it is, I can't do it. But they could, and I thought
Right.
that they did a good job, right? So I
Yeah,
can't
they
see that
did
how
fine enough.
I can't see that it's not authentic or whatever it is. It's serviceable, right? And I think that it absolutely works, right? But just the mere fact that it's pretty much new actors that you're hearing, I think it works, right? The music is decent for what it is. It's fine for what it is. The intro took a while for me. It like the opening intro, whatever it is, right? Yeah, it took a while to grow on me, right? But it worked, as you see these stories, play out, right? What I do like though is that I think with the exception of the first episode, right? Before we get to the intro, right? It always ends with a character seeing Wakanda. It must always end with a character saying Wakanda, and then it just cuts to black, and then you just see the intro play out. I thought that was really interesting, right? Giving the show a level of cohesion, right? And I thought that the animation itself was really, really well done. I'm not familiar with the studios involved, but I thought like just the aesthetic of it actually works, right? That sort of it has a cell shaded look, but it's
Yeah,
more, yeah.
but it looked good. It have a couple shots that look great. Like you see the stuff when she was in the water swimming up to the light and that kind of
Ooh,
thing. Like,
yeah,
oh
in
yeah,
the first
yeah,
episode, yeah. And
yeah, solid
I
stuff.
thought in particular, boy, the backgrounds, boy, just look
Yeah,
stellar though. Like really,
yeah.
really good though, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, yeah, not much more I could say. This was really, really good though. Yeah, you're right. We could have had like a couple more episodes though, but like I feel like this season, because I'm still gonna call this a season, right? I still think it's just sort of meant to test the waters out to see, hey, what can we do? What kind of stories that we could tell, right? Now, it could be really challenging now if when we get a next season now, if we're gonna just stick to this format of, okay, individual characters, different settings, new stories, right? Because I'm thinking that there's potential that we could see these characters return in the next season, but I don't know if they'll do that, right? Maybe they will, maybe they won't, right? You know. But I think that they really are. I think that Marvel Studios, are really, really onto something here with this Eyes of Wakanda thing. Because they could just expand this and explore various, various eras and timelines. Even if they want to be all if they want to go on the what if territory, they could go as far as they could go, right? But I do like the idea of it's about, hey, we have to protect Wakanda, but at the same time, we're learning about the world and we're learning about ourselves, and we see that sort of contradiction in terms of what we were taught over what it is we're learning, and just that back and forth way, and it really makes for some compelling characterization throughout the entirety of this series, of this mini series here, right? So for me, I'm gonna give this a decent 4 out of 5, man. I really enjoy this. This made for a good binge, man. Because in total, it's under 2 hours. You could just run through this in that space of time, right? But again, I think that Marvel Studios are onto something here with this premise. They could explore it in various ways going forward. It's just, I know it will be a challenge now trying to introduce new characters into each and every episode that hopefully we'll get going forward, right? But now, man, I think that they onto something here, man, and I want to see more of this. I really want to see more of this, right? But Eyes of Wakanda is the real deal. I really enjoy this one. But Ricardo, any more thoughts on this season here, or same season, right? But any more thoughts on this miniseries here, and you could give your final thoughts and rating too.
Oh no, this was excellent. Just so it's a shame that they it's a shame that they didn't promote this as much as it could, because it was kind of bad timing, because I think it's Spider-Man stuff, so that just kind of overshadowed this. But if this got more promotion, it would have done better as it is. But I hope it get a second season or just more material. Just give us a few more episodes, just like a next 6, that'll be fine. Up to 10, I can live with that. You don't have to tell too much. Just nice, perfect little short stories, and just show animation people on skill, tell stories in and out. You have to overthink it, and we're good.
So what would you rate it, man? What would you rate this first season, if you will?
Like 8 out of 10. It's just solid stuff. Enjoyed it for what it was.
All right, cool.